Help me reach 1,000 subscribes. Support the video with a like and leave your thoughts in the comments. I read every comment. Thanks. I never imagined humiliation could make a sound, but I learned that night it does. It sounds like skin meeting skin in a crowded room, followed by a silence so heavy it presses against your chest. My wife's hand came across my face hard enough to turn my head, and for a second I tasted blood. The room froze. Conversations died mid-sentence. And standing just behind her, close enough that I could smell his cologne, was the man she'd been cheating on me with. My name is Daniel. I'm 39. I've been married to Emily for 11 years. Or I was. I still struggle with the tense. Up until that moment, I thought I knew exactly who I was in this marriage. The reliable one, the calm one, the man who didn't raise his voice, who paid the mortgage on time, who believed that loyalty meant endurance. I believed love was something you protected, even when it stopped protecting you back. That night was supposed to be simple. Emily had insisted we attend her co-worker's birthday dinner at a downtown restaurant. I didn't want to go. She'd been distant for months, guarded with her phone, oddly dressed up for late meetings. But she said it would look bad if I didn't come. So I put on a jacket, told myself not to be paranoid, and drove us there. The first sign should have been how she walked ahead of me when we arrived. No hand reaching back. No glance to see if I was there. Inside, I noticed him immediately. Tall, confident, too comfortable in her space. His name was Ryan. I knew that because she laughed when someone said it. A laugh I hadn't heard in a long time. The kind that used to be mine. I tried to stay composed. I made small talk. I smiled when required. But every time I looked over, I saw it. The shared glances, the subtle touches. His hand brushing her lower back as if it belonged there. Something inside me tightened, slow and cold. Still, I said nothing. I didn't want to be the guy who caused a scene. I didn't want to believe what was forming right in front of me. It was Emily who broke the illusion. Someone joked about relationships. Something harmless. Ryan laughed and said, "Well, honesty is overrated anyway." Emily squeezed his arm and said, "Exactly." Then remembered I was standing there. Her smile vanished. I asked quietly, "What does that mean?" She rolled her eyes, already irritated. "Don't start," she said. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't accuse. I just said, "Are you seeing him?" The question hung there, fragile like glass. She stared at me for a long second, then laughed. Not nervous, amused. "You're embarrassing me," she said. I felt every eye on us now. Ryan shifted, suddenly interested in the floor. I repeated myself. "Emily, are you seeing him?" That's when she slapped me. It wasn't a reflex. It wasn't panic. It was deliberate, sharp, public, a message. Gasps rippled through the room. Someone whispered my name. Emily leaned in close enough that only I could hear her. "You don't get to question me," she hissed. "Not here. Not ever." My face burned, but something else happened underneath the shock. A strange stillness settled in. I looked at her, really looked, and realized she wasn't angry. She was relieved. The truth was out, and she didn't have to pretend anymore. Ryan finally stepped forward, placing a hand on her shoulder like he was calming a child. "Hey," he said to her, not to me. "Let's go." That was when I understood. This wasn't just an affair. This was a replacement. And I was the inconvenience that hadn't gotten the memo yet. I could have yelled. I could have swung back. I could have walked out broken. But instead, I smiled. Not wide. Not cruel. Just enough to make Ryan hesitate. I wiped the corner of my mouth with my thumb, glanced at the red smear, then looked directly at him. "Before you leave," I said calmly, "there's something you should know." The room leaned in without realizing it. Emily frowned, confused now. Ryan straightened, trying to look unfazed. I took a step closer, lowering my voice, choosing my words carefully, because humiliation had introduced itself to me that night, and I had just decided I wasn't going. Ryan smirked at first, like he expected a threat or a plea. Emily crossed her arms, already bored, as if whatever I was about to say couldn't possibly matter. I let that image settle in my mind for a moment. The two of them standing together, convinced they'd already won. Then I spoke. You know she told you I'm controlling, right? I said, keeping my tone even, that I'm cold, emotionally unavailable. Probably said I only care about work. Ryan's smirk faded just a fraction. Emily's eyes flicked toward him, sharp. I continued anyway. She tells everyone the same story. It's how she justifies what she does. Emily snapped. Daniel, stop. Her voice was tight now, not amused. I ignored her. What she didn't tell you, I said, looking directly at Ryan, is that every major thing in her life is still tied to me. The apartment, the car you drove her here in, the credit card she uses when she's feeling generous. All of it. I paused, letting the words sink in. She doesn't have independence. She has access. Ryan's jaw tightened. He glanced at Emily. That true? He asked. She laughed too quickly. Don't listen to him. He's trying to scare you. I nodded. That's what she said about the last guy, too. That did it. The room shifted. Ryan's confidence cracked, replaced by suspicion. I could see the calculations starting in his eyes, the mental inventory of risk versus reward. I took another step closer, not invading his space, just enough to make sure he heard every word. I found the messages 3 weeks ago. I said, I didn't say anything because I wanted to understand who I was dealing with. You're not the first. You're just the one she got sloppy with. Emily's face went pale. You're lying, she whispered, but there was no conviction left in it. Ryan pulled his hand away from her shoulder. You told me you were separated, he said. She opened her mouth, then closed it. I didn't need to add anything. Silence did the rest of the work for me. He took a step back, then another. I'm not doing this, he said, more to himself than anyone else. This is messy. Emily reached for him. Ryan, wait. He shook his head. No, you figure your stuff out. He looked at me one last time, something like embarrassment written across his face. Good luck, he muttered and walked out. Just like that, he was gone, defeated without a single raised voice or clenched fist. Emily stood there frozen, the room suddenly too quiet. People were pretending not to stare, but everyone was watching. She turned on me, fury bubbling up now that her backup plan had evaporated. You planned this, she said. You humiliated me on purpose. I almost laughed. Almost. No, I said, you did that yourself. I just stopped protecting you from it. I took off my wedding ring and placed it on the table between us. I'm done, I said. I won't fight you. I won't beg. Tomorrow I'll call a lawyer. Until then, you can stay wherever you want. Just not with me. Her mouth opened, but no words came out. For the first time in years, she had nothing prepared. I walked out of that restaurant with my head up, my face still stinging, but my chest lighter than it had been in a long time. Outside, the night air was cold and sharp, like it was trying to wake me up. I sat in my car for a moment before starting the engine, hand steady, heart calm. What surprised me most wasn't that she cheated. It was how easy it became to leave once the truth was undeniable. Love shouldn't require you to disappear piece by piece just to keep the peace. Respect isn't something you earn by tolerating disrespect. The divorce wasn't dramatic. She tried to negotiate later, tried to explain, even tried to cry. I listened politely, then declined. Some things can't be unlearned. Some moments change the shape of how you see someone forever. People ask me if I regret not reacting differently that night, if I wish I'd shouted or slapped back. I don't. Strength isn't volume. It's knowing when to stop giving someone power over you. The last thing Emily ever did for me was show me exactly who she was in front of everyone. And the first thing I did for myself was believe her.